I always had a natural affinity for campaign settings that do everything in one book. A good example of that is Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. This big fat book gives you an entire new world to play in, but it also gives you an entire campaign spanning over different levels where you can discover this campaign setting, go to different places, meet new NPCs, magic items. There's all kind of new stuff going on, and right now there is a campaign on Kickstarter that is promising to do exactly that and much more. For example, they're adding in a set of dice, new miniatures, virtual tabletop support, and even tiles you can print to build your own dwarven mine. Let's look into Curse of the Usurper. And this is it, Curse of the Usurper, and I'm going to go straight into business and tell you why I think this is going to be cool, because they're adding in something that I think can be a really cool addition to your table. Not only is this going to be a more than 400 pages thick campaign slash new world to play in with an entire campaign and side quests and NPCs and everything, together with like gadgets like dice and miniatures you can print and tiles you can print to build your own dungeon. The coolest thing that they have that they're going to add, and already added a little bit, is two things. They are doing a voiceover for, that's the first thing, they're doing a voiceover for a lot of the text that is in the book. Basically, especially the stuff you are meant to read out loud for your players as a dungeon master is voiced, and you can now play that for your players to really give them a feel of the setting in which they are playing. But even cooler is that a lot of the NPCs your players are going to meet, your player characters are going to meet, are also voiced by voice actors. So your players can really meet these NPCs. All of these NPCs have a different voice, different personality, and I think that is a really cool addition. On top of that, they have a more than 10-piece soundtrack, and I heard some of it. Soundtrack you can play while playing the game, while, for example, on a ship on the sea. They have this original soundtrack you can use, and you can play through a Bluetooth speaker on your table or whatever to really set the tone of the adventure. And that is like the biggest reason why I think this is going to be very cool. So I want to do two things in this video. First of all, go over the Kickstarter page really quickly, and then I want to look into the free PDF. Yes, they have a free PDF right here to download, which is like 30 pages thick or something. I want to look at that to like kind of show you what they are going for and what they are trying to accomplish with this Kickstarter campaign. So let's get into it. Now, before looking at the PDF, the preview PDF with a first adventure that gets you into Curse of the Usurper, let's look at the Kickstarter page itself really quickly. They were looking for 50k, and they now have 11,424 euros, which is almost exactly the same in dollars nowadays. So, Curse of the Usurper, the main thing is, of course, the book. And they're saying, we are proud to present our new 400 plus page 5e book, Curse of the Usurper. In this 400 pages of tome, you will find everything you need to engage your players in the story of mystery, danger, and wonder. Art, music, voiceover, maps, miniatures, and much more. Yeah, which looks to me really cool. I'll look in the PDF a bit later to show you why it's really cool, but the cover and the book itself looks really cool. And the first thing I need to say is that if you back this in the first 48 hours, you get your hands on this exclusive campaign monster miniature thingy. So you still have 1 day to do that, because it's already been running for a day, and so it launched yesterday, and it's until tomorrow somewhere, I don't know exactly what time, you'll be able to get your hands on that little extra. And also, something that's really cool is this shard tabletop. Everybody who backs gets a shard tabletop version, and this is a good time for me to quickly say that I have a link in the description below where I offer discounts on shard tabletop subscriptions, as well as some books that are on the marketplace for shard tabletop, especially Kobold Press stuff. So click that link, make a subscription, and use my promo code in that link to get great discounts on that. But shard tabletop is my favorite virtual tabletop. And it's really cool that everybody who backs this gets a Shard Tabletop version. It's a cool little extra. So other than that, there's places to go, side quests, everything you expect from a big campaign. Actor voiceovers, like they said, and you'll see that in the PDF in a bit, but there are these QR codes that you can scan with your cell phone or whatever, and you will hear the actor voiceover that you want to hear, that you need to hear at that point. There's 10 plus campaign music tracks. I heard one of them. Really cool music. Like, really, it sets the tone. There are dice. Use your own Curse of the Usurper collectible dice. Actual dice color may vary from picture. So there are dice. Game maps. There is an entire map in the preview PDF already. The adventure. There is also already a map for this ship. New monsters, 30 unique monsters, miniatures, and this is also really cool. 200 plus STL Dwarven Mine files. Immerse yourself and your friends as you play a campaign with your own printable dungeon. I think it's so cool that a few years ago, you'd have to like buy this stuff in order to be able to set up this dungeon, but nowadays everybody and their mother has a 3D printer, so everybody just needs the STL files and they can just print it themselves, which is really cool. And you can get this if you are really good at painting. You can even create it and to look like this, which I think is a really cool extra. It's not cheap, but it's cool. So yeah, price wise, digital book. There is the hardcover plus the PDF. There is the essential pledge with the dice and everything. But other than that, what I really want to do is, because prices are prices and then they are what they are, what I really want to do is look into the first adventure they are offering for free as a free download on this Kickstarter page. So let's get into that. The free PDF you can download from the Kickstarter page in the link in the description below is called Tavern's Bane Freighter, and I have to say a few things about it. I like the way it is set up, as I like it for its usability and its reusability, because it is built in such a way that you can actually use it very well to introduce any new set of player characters or any set of players to any new campaign you are running, as long as you want them to arrive by ship in a certain city that you want them to start the adventure or the campaign in. So outside of it being an introduction to Curse of the Usurper, this is really usable. You should just really download it because there's a lot of stuff in here that you can really use. So what they start off with, no, I'm just gonna go first into like what I mean by that is they give you this entire ship with the quest giver is on board, the captain is on board, there are crewmates who all have their own personality, their own agenda, and their own voice acting. They have more people on board, they have magic items, they even have like a side quest where this dag boy is like really, he comes up to the party, is like, oh no, I let some rats on board and now they're on the lower quarter messing everything up, and if the commander knows this, he will probably toss me overboard, so please help me get rid of those rats, which is like a mini side quest you can do on board. You can just take this and put this in any nautical campaign that you have, which is really cool. There is an attack, of course, on the ship, which is all really usable, and all of the parts of the ship are all explained. For example, there is this map. It's Tavern's Bane. There's the first level and the second level. It's like the main deck and the lower deck. And oh, sorry, there's also the cargo hold, yeah, which is really cool. They have stat blocks for all of the crew members. They have stat blocks for the thing that attacks the ship. They have stat blocks for the side quest, for some other things that potentially attack the ship. So it is really usable outside of Curse of the Usurper, but they start off with this main lore thing for what actually happened way in the past. And I'm going to simplify this, so to the creators, I'm sorry, please don't murder me for simplifying this, but basically there was long time ago this dwarven clan, and they were digging in a mountain, and they dug too deep, basically, like dwarves be dwarves, right? So there is this stone they dug up, which has a mind of its own. As a matter of fact, it has all the minds of people that perished in the mountain range across many decades. So all of those people are basically in that stone or something like that. And it is evil, and it has an agenda of its own, and it's basically, it has a curse, and it curses every dwarf in there to cut its lifespan in half, and yada 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 yada. And a few years later, the stone is so powerful that a dwarf gets born within the clan, and that dwarf is basically the embodiment, kind of like the avatar of that stone, of the soul that is in that stone. And he has an agenda of his own and doing evil stuff, and he wants to get out of that mine and do evil stuff. So the king of this clan and his crew, and a very big part of the clan, they form kind of a pact with this living, walking stone. They say, like, you know what, we're closing the door, but we'll stay in here. We're sacrificing ourselves, so you can keep the curse on us, but please don't go outside. So that's what happened many years ago, and of course some people get out and blah blah, and there's one more living dwarf who has the curse, and he is trying to get rid of it. And the adventure starts on board of a ship with the players actually being hired by that person who wants to get rid of that curse, and they have to go to a city. But you can choose for yourself as a dungeon master what part of this lore you want to explain to the players. Like, the player characters already know this lore, they know this happened, but what they also do, and they do it very well, is give all of the crew members and everybody basic pieces of information and gossip, so the players can kind of like interact with the crew in order to get to know, actually like kind of tie the pieces together to see what happened way back, which is a really cool way. Also, I want to congratulate them on something really cool. They actually go into how to properly start a campaign as a dungeon master, because I've learned in the last couple of years that a lot of dungeon masters have problems with actually starting a game. Once you're rolling, right? It's like, there's this creature and this happens, but like these first moments of role-playing, especially if there's some people at your table you don't really know, can be quite uncomfortable, and they really go into that, which is really cool. Congratulations on that. And as you can see, recording in OBS completely screws with the QR codes, but there are QR codes in here for about anything. This thing is entirely voiced. You can listen to this in your car to get to know the entire history. Just like when you're driving, just put this on, and you as a dungeon master can prepare without you sitting down with the book, which is really handy because there's a lot. But also, all the read out loud text is voiced, but even cooler, that's what I think is the coolest, that all of the characters are voiced. For example, there is this halfling deckhand with the rats. There is this side quest where the players need to get rid of some rats. It's a halfling. It's like a really scared halfling, and they are voiced by a voice actor, which makes the scene really come alive. On top of that, there is music that sounds really cool. So I cannot scan a QR code right now because I'm recording in OBS, but you should just download the PDF for yourself and see for yourself. And as you can see, everything you need is basically in here. And that's it for Curse of the Usurper. If you want to back this or check it out for yourself, make sure to click the link in the description below. I personally really want to see it succeed, because I really want to see what they're going for with this entire campaign, this entire book, because it is a big project, and they're having like they're going to have a lot of work to make this a reality. So check it out for yourself, download the PDF, and it's for you, back it. If it's not for you, don't back it. And until next video, bye bye.